Hi chat, welcome in everyone. I'm Chef JT. Happy Wednesday to y'all. Welcome. Hello Will. Hello Nan Reader. Hello JK. Hello Cosmic. Happy to see all of you with me. What you doing taters tonight? Gonna be doing pork cottage pie for dinner, and then I'm gonna make some potato donuts for dessert. Stream's just starting. I'm already sweating, chat. When got the kitchen way too hot before the start of stream, between blasting hot water and heating cast iron pans to dry them out, which are still warm and radiating heat, even though they're off the flame. I find it hilarious that the first word of the stream was potato related and no one got it. Sentient. The thing's scary. Back to having all sorts of eggs available around me, but they're still like $10.50 a carton. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not all that, but we're ranging from high 7s to like 1050 being what I was, like, the average. I didn't see if there were many more expensive or not. I was just sort of like, oh. I luckily still have eggs around in the house, so I wasn't actually shopping. I was just looking at the prices and being disgusted. I was really over there for some of this stuff. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Happy Ingredient Challenge Day to y'all. Cheers. Fan. I didn't fall asleep. Hey, Michael. Slippery. Slippery, slippery. There we go. I always forget to switch back to the cutting board after doing coffee. So I'm going to coat those with water. Maybe give them one rinse out so that it isn't all starch water. So we get the potatoes cooking so we can put those in the donuts. Let's see, can I get anything else with this going ahead of time, or are we waiting entirely on this? Interesting. I was assuming that this was a yeast recipe. Let me double check this. Let's see here. Nah. All we're using is the egg. Huh. Not even other leaveners. That's really odd. Different? What you say, chat? Hey, Sloaf. So I guess we'll get started on the other stuff for our other dish here. Do I want to do... No, we'll do a separate pan for these. Yeah. Nope, no. Over here. What you looking at? Over here. No. Not the ceiling. Down. Yeah. So we got the russets for with the donuts. So now we need potatoes for on top of our stew. Hi, Tiff. was most of what I was worried about being an issue. There we go. There's a piece we need to cut out. Wow. Where the scallops were if you're just gonna stick. Mostly chopping these to break up the skins, because I'm leaving the skins in on the cottage pie. Well, it makes sense that it's not a shepherd's pie if it's not lamb, because person raising pigs isn't a shepherd. Or cows, or anything else. What am I watching these days? I have no service subscriptions. Well, I mean, other than Turbo. I watch YouTube and Twitch, basically. That's Kathy Bates doing that, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about White Lotus and Severance. That sounds like an HBO series. I just can't stomach paying for any of these subscription services. I don't know. Maybe it's... I don't know what it is. I just can't, like... The last time I dealt with any of them, I did a free month of, I think it was Paramount. And... yeah. Not sure what that was all about. Or not sure what that's all about. I'm not sure why. I just can't stomach paying that amount of money for a service. It's a video. Sell me the video. Maybe, Michael, yeah. Like, the last, like, TV service I had was, Google's TV service. And they, like, I liked it a lot when it was, like, I think it was, like, a $30 service. Or even less. It might have been a $20 service when I first started with them. But they just kept adding and adding and like... They added, like, the Discovery channels. There was, like, 30 channels they added. and they nearly doubled the price of the service. And I was like, I don't want any of these. Why do I want to pay that much? Like, and I ended up canceling the service on them, and I haven't gone back to it because I'm not paying them $70 for cable TV anymore. That was a long time ago. That was, yeah, I think I was, well, I'm remembering things wrong. I have a horrible memory, chat. Because that was the last time I gave up service when I was living in LA. I then got service again when I moved up to Sonoma County. Because I had to, it was going to cost me nothing more to get cable under the cost to get cable when I moved in. So what else are we throwing in this pie? Guess we gotta throw some onion in there, huh? The top part of this is a little discolored, so I decided to ditch it. Oh, you got open garlic already. Why you won't break apart, garlic? There, that ought to be enough garlic for one onion. Alright, chat. Carrot from the other night that I didn't use. Celery. That's getting a little soft. It's getting a little soft. Hey, Smasher. Pretty good so far. Got a good dinner plan. Doing taters tonight, so we're getting started on our pork tenderloin stew, which is going to go with taters on top. I'm going to turn it into a cottage pie. And also got potatoes boiling so that we can make potato donuts. There's actually a donut chain in the US called Spudnuts that makes potato donuts. Though I think they just use potato flour. Oh, these are definitely... I wouldn't... learn the basics of culinary school. You don't really learn culinary school. You don't really learn knife skills without cutting a whole bunch of stuff. It helps if you're on a clock for doing it too, but like I said, and also when I say it helps to have a clock on that, your hands are worth more than any food you're ever going to produce. But unfortunately, we live in a world of disposable employership, as I'm sort of starting to call it. Like, people want to abandon the whole... I understand it and somewhat agree with it, but people want to sort of abandon the whole 2-week notice thing, like, you want to fire me at your whim, why do I care about you sort of mentality. That goes for a lot of things in business. Like, you look at the whole culinary mentorship program set up, you know, the whole idea of basically all of these businesses that are based off of like a mentorship and stuff like that seem to be sort of like dying arts that are still practiced, but dying, like blacksmithing, things like that, where you need apprentices, you know, the fine, all those things that you see videos about in Japan, them making fine brushes and stuff like that. And it's, you know, the dad and his son, they can't find anyone else to work on them anymore. It's the level of dedication it takes to devote yourself to be with someone these days. I don't think the general public has it anymore. You have a fair number of retailers out there that are operating off of a push them until they quit. I'm missing part of that one, Michael. Part of that was lost in translation. Hi, Head of Broccoli. Welcome, welcome. So we got these. We're going to throw in there too. Oh, we got the mushroom shiitakes we can throw in there. And I still have ricotta that I need to use up. I'm debating mixing that with the potatoes for the topping on the cottage pie. Oh, nope. You're going, bye-bye. This one has treated me mildly well, but if you notice, I don't have much of a curve in that knife anymore. These typically have much more of a curve in them to start. I've ground most of that curve out of this one. And you can also notice we're pretty well in, like, this has been ground down quite a bit already. Like, we're definitely into the scallops now as far as our grinding. And it wasn't originally that way. I think one of the best choices I ever made was stealing the insert. The Culinary Institute of America gave us this big, like, pleather. It was more plastic than leather, but pleather knife case for holding all of our knives. And I took the insert out of that and put it in my drawer. And I've been using it to hold my knives ever since. Works pretty well. It's got a whole bunch of plastic loops that the knives fit down in between pretty nicely. I've got most of them doubled up. It does sort of look like there's droppings down there with the little bits of black plastic that get knocked off of the knives. But otherwise, it's a nice case. I'm waiting on these taters before I think I move forward with the pork dish. These are pretty much there. Let's see if these need really any more cooking at all for the donuts. Pretty close. I want to give them a little bit longer. I also picked up some jarred roasted peppers that I'm going to throw in with the pork. We use a bag of chicken stock in with that too. See if we can find one that's still liquidy. It's still liquidy. You can see that bubble move. It's still liquidy. But it's starting to freeze. You see that freeze pattern happening. Now it's like slush. It was like water before, but now that bubble, it's flexible, but it ain't. Sort of frozen. It's like those, do they still have those? For a while there, they had, I forget if it was Pepsi or Coke. One of them had machines that were designed to specifically hold their drinks below temp, so that you pull them out and you put them in the little, like, vibrating thing. You put it on the vibrating thing to turn it into ice or into a slushy. Didn't work very well. I only tried it once. Just for... That was a minute ago now. That was probably at least 5 years ago now. Guess no one else remembers that. Ad break. I just got a strainer out so we can strain those donut taters. JK, thank you for the resub. 14
Chef here,
months.
one wiggle.
Alright, now I'm gonna drain these because some of them are starting to fall apart. That was steamy. Facial. Ever remember that scene from Crocodile Dundee? Clear science is right up. Moving the taters for the cottage pie on the other side here, so we can put that pan down there. Let's make our donut dough and then we'll work on the rest of the veggies. I'm just going to toss these in together. Hi, they can see me. I like parsnips. Parsnip puree is good every once in a while with a steak. Nice. How'd they turn out? Great, I hope. Did you go flour? Did you go masa? Touch of salt. I lied, there's baking powder in this. You go, chat. No, I don't typically throw baking powder in mine. I don't need them to be all bubbly. Might need more of this. used half and half, even though this called for milk and buttermilk, so I'm going to do a little buttermilk powder in there. Just realized we need a little vanilla. And what else am I missing? Looks like that's it, folks. Got donuts and baking powder? You too could have donuts. Did I say, do you have potatoes? Anyways. I am thinking that may be a bit too dry. Maybe I'll just go heavy on dusting flour once this all gets combined. Yeah, that's a little bit more. Allow that to cool. Actually, I should put that on a piece of parchment. The idea is we want this to cool, but we also want it flat so that I can just sort of easily cut them out, move on, and hopefully as that cools, those starches are going to seize up a bit, and that's going to, my assumption here, I haven't made this dough before. My assumption is the potato is going to seize up as it cools, and will make this much more cuttable, much more malleable. Malleable is maybe not the right word, but usable. I learned today, or maybe relearned, because like I said, I have the world's worst memory. There's actually an American curry dish. Like, classic American, like, it's like Captain's Chicken or Chicken Captain or something like that. It's a chicken curry dish with rice, and apparently it's a Southern American dish. Like chicken curry with the dried fruits and all of that. Now, do I want to fry in this or do I want to cook? Let's do both. Turning these potatoes off, the other side off, and they're just coasting now. Yeah, I've never really gotten into the whole mixing veggies in my potatoes. I guess I'm an American. Onion smells good. Nice broccoli. Was everyone that was complaining about the market the last couple of days make a ton of money today? Don't worry, it's going to go back down again. Now the question is, when do you sell? Again. Not even Robinhood or crypto? My understanding is that that's basically all that Gen Z is doing, is crypto and Robinhood, because why do you want to pay for a bank? Why do you want to pay for... I mean, you got Bank of America putting fees on having a small bank account. Why do you... I mean, unless you need it to pay individual things out of the bank, why would you ever want that? Put it into something without a service fee. Of course, I've also read that Gen Z has a horrible gambling addiction compared to some other generations. They don't like alcohol, but they love gambling. Like, I don't do any sports betting, like, yay, sports. I don't do any sports betting. I find casinos frankly boring outside of maybe poker. I would say casinos were actually much more exciting when I was barely young enough to go in a casino, and all the money was, I mean, a little bit more impressive to me. Now I've been around a while and nothing, like, wow, $5 payout? Wow. Crawdalt, thank you for that raid. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you all. I'm working on making a pork stew. Add our garlic and mushroom in there last, since it's the smallest cut up stuff. And in with that relatively weak celery, if I can talk without hiccuping. What were we up to today, Crawdalt? Thank you for that raid. Appreciate you sharing your community. Oh no. Tech issues are so frustrating. Sometimes they're so hard to tell. Did I do something wrong? Is this the computer? What setting was that? Going to strain these potatoes over here. Actually, let's do this. Best of luck, Crawdop. Thank you for the raid. Salt. A little chicken stock. Ricotta, if it wants to come out. you're off over here. Make sure you're not sticking to the bottom. That I did. I also put chicken stock, and I'm also going to add a little half and half. The ricotta is almost entirely just because I already had it in the fridge and didn't have plans for it. I thought it sounded like a fun plan. Little light garlic. Nice, broccoli. What'd you get? Move this off to the side for a minute. I forgot about the red pepper. We're gonna cut that up and add that in there now. So that's all going in here now too. Heating up another pan over here. The lid for this, actually. Sort of the lid. I've got the pork over here off to the side. We're going to give this a sear. I'm going to chop it up and might give it a second sear. And butchered these tenderloins. At least one of them. This one's got a solid slice in it. The truth is most of the giveaways are illegal, but hey, they make for good advertising in other channels. The only thing I'm going to say about other YouTubers or other Twitch people sending food out to the rest of the world, do you have a legal health, like, do you have insurance? Like, are you going to be able to handle that one disgruntled person that calls in that you now have to defend against? I have had to. I've talked before about being in a situation where my business, I paid shit tons of money to be a legal business, only to set up next to people that didn't do the first fucking thing to prove that they were doing things safely. But let's just go ahead and sell brownies and cookies around the world. I'm not talking about just eat at Dad's. There's a trend going on, and it pisses me off. No, you're not selling it. You're not promoting your Twitch channel using it. You're not, they're profiting off of selling that shit on the internet. Completely illegally. There is no legal way in California, at least, for you to have a potluck like you're describing. Yeah, sure, families and groups do that all the time, and I understand that. But there is zero standard of cleaning going on there. Like, the whole idea that we have restaurant reviews and certifications is because there are dirtbags in this world. I mean, for fuck's sake, when I'm talking about my own business, I set up a full mobile kitchen with 3-compartment sink, actual metal hand sink, to set up next to a barbecue stand that didn't even bring a fucking hand wash. Barbecue, raw meat. No, I'm not. I have no idea what Lou is doing or not. I just know that it's a trend here on Twitch, and there are more than one of people doing this now. And, it falls along the whole line of a giveaway with streaming. Like, that's the whole reason that I set up Sprinkles, is because channel points are in no way legal for a giveaway in the majority of U.S. states. Because there is an advantage to getting subscriptions, there's an advantage to getting bits, and so you can pay into having more channel points, which gives you an advantage. It's one of those, it varies by states a lot in the US, JK. And on top of that, you have state laws, and state laws are questionably enforced by the counties. Where here in Sonoma, like California, we have tons of regulations about food. We are, I would guess, the most regulated food industry in the US. However, county-wise, the county of Sonoma doesn't give a shit. And it's even getting worse. Like, this year, there's been so many more pop-up stands on the roads of just people, like, yeah, I'm gonna throw up a tent on the side of the road and cut fruit up in the middle of the open air. That's and then compete against businesses that had to spend money on 4-inch covings on their floors and 36 pages of California codes on the design of their place. Broccoli, that's a very fine line. Are either one of you trying to start a business or profit off of that? Then yes, you are. Otherwise, you're just passing things around neighbors and friends, and that's not even comparable. There's another local business to me now that's just royally frustrating me in that same exact way. Because they have a ton of food-related trailers. And I don't see permits on a single one of them. I'm this close to calling them in. All he has to do is irritate me and getting home once more. Like, there's food people on Twitch that I have a fair amount of respect for that are doing it as a business. They're openly, like, Pizza Princess, Donut King, there's most certainly a place for food businesses on Twitch. I'm not saying that, I'm talking to people that are, thinking this is I've talked about Etsy should buy Twitch, or Twitch should buy Etsy. It's not Etsy. Broccoli, are you even listening to what I said? Are your friends all in business selling cookies? Are they profiting off it? Are they making subs? This hasn't rusted at all. I'll give you another example, Broccoli. Did you know that you ever hear all those controversies over, the kid sets up a lemonade stand? Gets in trouble for it? They've actually had to carve out special laws and regulations so that kids can do that without getting into trouble in many locales. I'm just doing this for extra searing, not because I'm actually worried about cooking these all the way through here. I'm gonna chop these up once more, and they're gonna go in with this. So. Also in that same line, Chef Steve's great. Runs a food business on Twitch. Does it completely above board. He's working in a commercial facility. That's not what I'm complaining about. speaking of Twitch being a business, give me my 1099, Twitch. For some reason, they haven't issued me a 1099. They've made me reset my entire pay set, which means while it's not, going to be an impact on my life, my next payout is now a month later than it should be. And they're telling me to wait 3 days. Are anyone looking when tax filing is due? Add the pork in with veggies. Put the flour away. Chicken stock. And flour and butter will hopefully thicken that up after a little bit. Come on, get off of there. Why you gotta be difficult? I made foods from the farmers markets, so I did a wide range of stuff. Oh, hey there, camera. You're looking at a weird angle there, aren't you? The premise was I wanted to do a lot of the same foods that you could find in your supermarket prepared foods area. The chop, the dice, the prepared salads, the sort of deli stuff without actually being a deli, soups, stocks, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Last one didn't quite make it. Alright, so at least this part will be pretty. Let's start preheating our oven. We need to clean up this pan so we can use it for frying. I guess we gotta do a little cleanup overall here for a little bit, because things are getting backed up here. Thank you for the follow. I guess I'm not getting alerts in my ear. That's weird. Do some clean oil for our units. Is this... No, this is still probably too soft. I'm probably going to have to do some fun with flour here. I guess it's not... Well... Nope. How can no one guess wiggle? Might be able to pull ones off of that with the flour. But we're gonna have to get this oil heating up quick. Yeah, it's stuck too much. These are going to require a fair amount of flour, I think. Nope, not enough flour. Just under enough flour there. One more try with this. Hopefully the oil is almost up to temp, so we'll be able to go almost directly into the oil. Oh hey, helps if the oil's actually got a flame underneath it. Actually, maybe we can try you. Glad the laptop's back to work and crawled out. And throw the stew in the oven. Stew, the pie, the deliciousness. Well, maybe not my best donuts I've ever created. We'll see. They're getting more interesting. No, it's not going to be big enough. our first donut. Not the best figure, but I'm happy with these. They're a little ugly, but they're feeling like they're nice soft donuts. They're feeling like they came out nice. They definitely poofed up a bit. Lovely. I think I just got dough on my earbud. Absolutely nothing sketchy about trying to wash up off dough on a lithium-powered earbud in your ear. Nothing sketchy at all about that idea. Wow, you're getting hot, oil. Oof. How hot are you? Ooh, 400 degrees. Oof. Hot. Hot! I could have gotten a couple more donuts out of that. But these have been pretty messy. I think they've been successful, but they've been messy. And 5 donuts is... Do I really need more donuts, chat? See, that's about the tempo it was supposed to be frying at. That's why it's taking so long now. You can go with powdered sugar if you want. I think the recipe said powdered sugar. I prefer the granulated. A little grit to it on the outside of my donuts. How about you, chat? Do you like your donuts with sugar? Or rather, do you like your sugar with donuts? I think we're going to take a little bit of an AFK here, chat. We're going to allow this to bake a bit more in the oven. Going to give that another 15 minutes from here. Oh, from my rant earlier, chat, if any of you are not from the US and are unfamiliar with what a 1099 is, 1099 is a US tax form, and it's the type of form. There's a whole bunch of different types of 1099s, but it's the form that Twitch gives us to fill our taxes out that says, you know, this is what we got from Twitch for the year. And so I've been royally frustrated for about a week and a half, something like that, going back and forth with Twitch support. You know, I need this form. I know I didn't make a fortune, but I qualify for all the reasons you have to give me this form. And they've just been like, have you tried rebooting your PC? It has been most backwards conversation trying to get to this resolution. I think it partly has to, I think Amazon consolidated some stuff. I don't remember this 100%, but I think it used to be Twitch handled all of their own tax stuff in-house. And now it's popping up to, it's giving me a pop-up to Amazon's tax stuff. And so I'm assuming this is a lost in communication thing between Twitch and Amazon, but okay, folks, well, let's take a photo of these and then break one of these open while they're still warm. Show chat. See, hopefully we cook these through. Looks nice and fluffy and light to me. What do you think, chat? Looks cooked through, too. This is the one I was most worried about not being cooked through. Yeah, it came out alright. Real soft texture, that potato. You can sort of tell the potato's in there. Cinnamon sugar. All right, folks, I'm going to give it a 15-minute break. Give that stew, that pie, the cottage pie, a little time to finish setting up and saying hello to each other in the oven. And we'll come back for that in a little bit.
A pleasure, Milton. In just a moment, we'll see how well Milton does at the Pentagon. But if you want to see busy hands at your house, just you offer this lively Christmas party dip that's so good to serve with king-size Fritos corn chips. Just follow the recipe right on the Fritos package. Of course, it calls for the famous Philadelphia brand cream cheese, an 8-ounce package, which we blended with 2 tablespoons of milk till it's nice and smooth like so. Then come 2 tablespoons of Kraft cream-style horseradish for zesty flavor, a 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and finally, a dash of salt. And we'll blend our Philly mixture again. And when party time comes, let the folks enjoy this wonderful Philly horseradish dip with crisp king-size Fritos. There are those busy hands. Just remember, you make the best-tasting dips with the freshest-tasting cream cheese you can buy. Philadelphia brand cream cheese. Made only by Kraft.
You are now looking at a slice of bread being spread with creamy-style Skippy peanut butter, as only Mary Ellen can spread it there. All right, now, as you look at that, don't want you to leave me, because I want to show you something, believe it or not, that a lot of people like even better. Suppose we were to take some fresh roasted peanuts here, and like Mary Ellen has been doing all evening, and putting them in a nut chopper here. Give a couple more little chugs, will you, please? Mm-hmm. I think that'll do it just fine. Now you find in there some just tiny little golden nuggets of roasted peanuts, and they are colossal. Now, I want to try something here. Suppose we were to take these, now let me try an experiment, do you mind, honey? And we'd sprinkle them over the creamy-style Skippy. Say, how is that, huh?
Ooh, that looks good.
It does look good. All I did that for was to tell you that you can get that and enjoy it anytime you want. You won't have to go through any chopping process either, because the Skippy people do that for you in chunk style. That's done for you up in the factory. Now, chunk style, you see, has sprinkled all through it very generously through the entire jar those golden little nuggets that you saw there, just about like that. So that's already done for you there. Now, of course, either style, whether it's cream or chunky, if you get Skippy, you are getting the peanut butter that stays fresh right down to the last spoonful in the jar. And so I make it very simple again. I want you to know that this is an honest fact.
If you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy.
Say, do you remember this old milk glass satin hen? Well, you know, milk glass was an early American favorite. And when the folks in the old days wanted something really delightful, they'd take one of their milk glass goblets and pour some very fine wine right into it. Well, now, you know, it's Welch's wine that is keeping this wonderful tradition alive. A real wine for folks who really want the best. Yes, today's answer to this age-old family tradition is Welch's family wine, the answer to warm hospitality and really gracious living, and the wine that so many Americans enjoy these wintry days. You know, there is very good reason for this ever-increasing popularity of Welch's wine. Now, you folks know that all sweet Concord kosher wines are made from grape juice. And everybody knows who has been making the very finest grape juice for the past 85 years. Welch's, of course. And that's right, the only kosher wine made from Welch's grape juice is naturally Welch's kosher wine. Now, when you want the best in grape juice, you buy Welch's. So, doesn't it make sense then, if you want the best and most delicious kosher wine, you insist on Welch's family wine? You get several bottles tomorrow. Try the half-gallon size. You enjoy the wine of all occasions. That's right, when it comes to wine, you'll do well to insist on Welch's.
Well, no wonder my laundry bill is so high. All those napkins last week.
Doeskin.
What?
You should use Doeskin dinner napkins.
Paper napkins? Oh, no.
I don't mean thin little paper napkins, but Doeskin dinner napkins. You'll love them.
Everybody loves Doeskin dinner napkins. These soft linen-like napkins are two-ply in smart formal fold, in white and in beautiful pastel colors. And doe-skin dinner napkins are big. They cover your whole lap, and they stay put. What's more, they last throughout the meal, and they leave no lint.
But they are nice. And they would save my linen.
They save you money, too. Doe-skin dinner napkins cost only 49 cents for 5 dozen. That's a fraction of a penny apiece.
All right, Dottie.
You'll find doe-skin dinner napkins, doe-skin facial tissues, and other doe-skin products at your favorite grocery, supermarket, department store, or drugstore. Look for the brown dispenser box.
Doe-skin.
Now, a new creation from Seal Test. Cottage cheese in ready-to-serve portions. Handy envelopes bring you brand new convenience and ease. Zip, it's open, quick and neat. Just the amount you need. The easy way to serve cottage cheese. The rest stays moist and creamy. Ready for next time.
Are they handy? Cottage cheese in ready-to-serve portions.
So easy to use, quick, and no bother at all.
The rest stays really fresh, moist and creamy.
Yes, serving cottage cheese was never as easy as this. Seal Test's new square package with handy, ready-to-serve portions. Zip, it's open. Simple as can be. The rest stays moist and creamy fresh. You'll love Seal Test cottage cheese in new, ready-to-serve portions. Get some soon.
What are you doing here? You ought to be outside with the rest of the kids.
This is where Thanksgiving really begins, isn't it, Edgar?
Well, now, if you're referring to the aroma of roast turkey, I concur.
No, Ray, I was talking about the kitchen. It looks like a real center of hospitality.
Did you say hospitality?
Uh-huh.
That's one thing we're always prepared for around here. Help yourself.
Wouldn't this be a good time for you and your guests to have Coca-Cola, too?
Yes, and Coca-Cola is so delicious, so refreshing, so tempting to any guest when you bring out those familiar bottles with tiny beads of moisture running down their frosty sides, assuring you that the Coke inside is really ice cold. And the good, the gracious, the friendly homes of America are always prepared for hospitality, not only on Thanksgiving Day, but every day all the year around, no matter who comes to call or who happens to drop in. And one of the easiest, simplest, and surest ways in the world to be prepared for hospitality is to have plenty of Coca-Cola in your refrigerator, ice cold and ready to serve all the time. It's a wonderful way to say to folks, so glad you came. Welcome anytime.
Right alone, the San Francisco treat. Right alone, everybody's got the beat. Started out where cable cars play this song. Now tried at home before very long. Right alone, the San Francisco treat.
From San Francisco, famous for food, comes Rice-A-Roni, the exciting new side dish. Here at last is a welcome change, a change from potatoes. Now you can serve Rice-A-Roni, a delicious side dish with meat, chicken, or fish. And you make Rice-A-Roni in minutes. Everything's right in the box. A packet of soup base, rice, and vermicelli that you brown in butter. Add the special herb-flavored broth, and in minutes, Rice-A-Roni. Fluffy, fragrant. A wonderful change from potatoes.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
Hello. Hi, chat. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So let's see what we got going on here for dinner. No real browning. I didn't add any egg yolk. You can add egg yolk into the topping to give it some color, or brush the top of it with some egg yolk to give it some color. Though I am okay with how it's been cooking because we do have bubbling going up over here. So things have cooked through all the way to the top here. And I don't want to sit it in there. I mean, I wanted to make sure it cooked through together, got everything to know each other together. But this is a pork tenderloin stew. It's not going to benefit from a long cook on it. We got our sear on it. We basically brought it up to temp. I don't want to turn it into shoe leather. So I think I'm going to leave it with that there. As I said, if you want to... Well, actually, let's see. What will this do? Wasn't brown, but it gave it some nice color. Sort of wishing I had some sort of herbage for a little bit of green on top of that, but that's looking pretty delicious all by itself. We went to an ad. Why couldn't the ad run during my break? Thank you, Will. Yeah, I think it's going to be delicious. Like I said, I was looking forward to this. Little less looking forward to donuts. I enjoy donuts, but they can be a gut buster too, which is why I definitely stopped at 5 there. Like, they might be good in the morning. I don't know if I'm going to really eat them for dessert, but they are a delicious dessert at the same time. Why is the oven still on? Hi, Alex! But I do think this is where I am going to be leaving it, folks. I do apologize for anyone that got stuck with an ad, and now we're going to be wrapping things up. I'm at least going to wait and see it come back. Alright, folks. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Greatly appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm excited for tonight's dinner. Tonight's dinner is going to be great. Gonna be back here Sunday. Oh, wait. It's Wednesday. Gonna be back here Friday. We're gonna be doing... I'm gonna break out my new fish poacher. And I'm gonna try and find some whole fish that I can poach. And give that a shot. I have no idea what I'm going to put along with the fish that's up in the air. Sunday, got another great dinner planned for Sunday. If I can remember what it is. I know I wrote it just not too long. Yogurt fried chicken. Oh, fried chicken. Again, don't really have plans for sides for that, but gonna be doing... I'm leaning towards boneless pieces of chicken, heavily marinated in yogurt, just caking the yogurt on, just turning that yogurt into a very thick, heavy shell for the chicken. So that should be an awesome dinner. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing end to your week. Have a great night, everyone.